What's up, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I hope you guys are having a blessed evening, blessed afternoon, wherever you're from, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna get into making some beats and also mixing some beats. I'm gonna get into a nice little tutorial on what I do, process that I go through whenever I'm preparing my beats and getting them ready to be sent out, getting mixed, arranged, all that good stuff like that. So we're gonna get into that today, man. Hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in just a few, man. Peace. Turn this up loud, yeah, let it bump. Bass hitting hard from the back to the front. Chunk of deuce out the sunroof for the haters. Now they can't fade us. I'm like a skyscraper. I'm sitting tall, king of the hill. I'm on the cell phone taking all major deals. I can't stop now cause the game too strong. Been in it so long, gotta get it before it's gone. So now I'm coming home and the hood coming with me. Bringing all the diamonds worth about $150. Clean as a whistle, yeah, the kid's so spiffy. Banging out your speakers so I'm knowing that you hear me. What's up, people? What's up, man? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the live stream today, man, on this nice afternoon. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks so much for that. It's been a while since we had a setup live stream. Kind of been taking care of a few things with the business and all, you know. Gotta kind of break off every now and again, make sure everything is taken care of. So I'm gonna get into something special for you guys today. I like to do these impromptu things for all you guys that do tune in. For these things right here, I don't really announce them. I just like to do them just impromptu like this, you know, just set up everything and take you guys in and let you guys see how I do a few things, you know, for all of you guys that do pay attention to the channel and absolutely enjoy this type of impromptu content whenever I do it, man. So, you know, today I'm gonna take you guys in, and with all the beats that I have been making recently, I'm gonna arrange a few of them and also mix a few of them with you guys online, you know. So we're gonna jump into that. You guys are feel free to ask questions if you want on whatever you see, because that's what we're here for. I told you guys that I'm gonna bring you live streams, but I'm gonna bring you live tutorials as well. So that's what this video, that's what this stream is gonna be about. So again, you know, if you guys see anything that on screen that you guys want to ask questions about, feel free to do so in the chat, whether you're on YouTube, IG, or on Twitch as well. Normally this content is for Twitch only, but you know, I just wanted to give you guys a special treat for the YouTube viewers and also the IG viewers as well, man. So if you like content like this, if you like what you see here, tutorials like this that you're gonna see, if you like this type of stuff, then make sure you tune in to the Twitch channel if you're on IG or if you're on YouTube, because I have a lot more of this type of stuff that's gonna go down exclusively only on Twitch, you know, tutorials and stuff like that. You know, I know you guys see a lot of my YouTube tutorials and things, but I also told you guys that I'm gonna give you some live stream tutorials as well. So this is one of those, man. So we're gonna get into it. All right. Again, I hope everybody is feeling nice, man. And I hope you guys enjoy, you know. So I'm not really going to talk too much. I'm going to try and explain a few things that I do, but I'm just going to be kind of answering questions if you guys have any. You know, that's what I kind of want to dedicate this to instead of just going over everything as I do it. You know, so again, feel free to ask any questions that you have. And yeah, man, let's get started. So this is one of the beats that I have right here. This is one of the beats that I'm going to start with. And this beat was already made. I think I made it on a live stream a while back. And yeah, it's pretty much all ready to go. Everything is good with the beat. And what I want to do is now get it out of the MPC software, get it into Reaper, and get it ready to mix and arrange. So that's what I'm going to do with this beat here. So I'm going to let you guys take a listen to it. That's the beat right there. Nice little chill beat. So we're gonna get that ready to go into the Reaper software so we can mix it. All right. So as you guys know, I always explode my sounds from a different track. You know, I got all my sounds on my original drum track. Okay. And the first drum track is usually the first track right here. So let's go through them and label the tracks real quick. I haven't even labeled these yet. So let's go down and do it. My first track is my drum track. So that would be my drums. Make sure we do everything right. Drums, okay. That's this here. That's my drums there. This right here is the low sample. This is a sample beat. So this is the low sample, and track 3 is the high sample. This is a good opportunity for you guys to see what I do with the high and low sample when I arrange the beat and when I mix it. How I bring in the high and low sample to match each other and what I do with it. So if you guys were always wondering about that, why I like to split my samples up into high and low, this kind of will give you guys a good idea as to why. Okay, this right here is, I believe, is my 808, I think. Let's see. No, this is the bass. This track has a bass line and an 808. This is some piano chords right here. Okay, this right here. This is also some piano chords, so we're gonna call that high piano chords. Okay, and then this right here is a sample as well. I'm gonna call this piano sample. I think it is. Yeah, that's a piano sample. Okay, and then 8 is the vocal track, and then 9 is the 808. All right, so this is actually gonna be a real treat right here because we got pretty much everything in this beat. You know, like normally I have beats that don't encompass this much stuff. Like I got an 808 in here, I got a bass in here, I have a vocal in here, I got 2 sets of piano chords, high and low samples. So this is gonna be a treat to mix right here. You pretty much gonna see pretty much everything, you know, on this beat right here when I arrange it and I mix it. You know, because it has pretty much everything in it. Most of my beats don't encompass this much, everything that I do in it, but this particular beat has pretty much everything. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this sequence, this main sequence where the whole beat is made. I'm going to copy that to a new sequence. Okay, so let's do that. Let's copy to a new sequence. We're going to put that on sequence 2, and I'm going to call that EXP sequence, and this is where I'm going to explode my drum track. I like to do that on a different sequence because I like my main sequence to always have the drum track in its original form. This explode sequence is now going to take my drum sounds off of that first track and put them on its own track. Every single drum sound on its own track. So let's do that. I'm going to do that from the controller here. It's real easy. Just hit the pencil tool, hit the drum track, hit explode. Okay, so now if you go to the track view, that last track was my vocal track right here. So I now have all of my last sound was my 808 here. So I now have all of my drums underneath that. Every single drum sound on its own track now. So we want everything on its own track. That way we can get a good mix out of it, make sure everything is good. And it muted my original drum track. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead on and export. Let's go ahead and hit Control S to save this. We're gonna hit Control Shift E to go to our export screen. We're gonna export this in 24-bit 48K because that's what my audio interface is set to. And I'm going to hit explode tracks because I want everything on its own individual track. We're going to go to export, and then I'm going to copy the beat title right here. I'm going to just highlight it and right click on it and hit copy. Then I'm going to make a new folder inside of this folder right here. Inside of this beat folder, I'm going to make a new folder, call it stems, and I'm going to paste the beat title. That way I know my stems are all in this folder right here. I'm going to hit do it, and then I'm going to save. And that's going to export all of our sounds out one by one. All right. What's going on, everybody on YouTube? Appreciate y'all tuning in. What's happening, Caesar Weg? Appreciate you tuning in. Black Beats. What's happening? Fat Boy M. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Mr. Boogie Down. all of you guys, thanks so much for tuning in, man. This is gonna be kind of like a little a nice little tutorial for you guys that just showed up. I'm gonna be arranging a few beats and mixing a few beats. Some of the beats that I have made over the past few days, you know, it's time for me to actually mix them and arrange them and mix them. Some of them are arranged already, some of them are not mixed, but this particular one is not even arranged yet, and I want to get this one done because it's a really nice beat. So I'm gonna take y'all through this one. Okay, now we finished. All of our sounds are exported. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to get these stems out of the MPC software into Reaper. So we're pretty much done with the MPC software. I'm going to pull up Reaper. Okay. Let's do that. Let us do that. Okay, we're going to hit a new project. My Motor 49 is not active. I don't think I need it here. Okay. First thing I want to do in Reaper is I want to change Reaper to my project BPM. Okay, my project BPM is 166. So that's what I'm going to change Reaper to. Let me go here and take this off. My Motor 49 MIDI devices. That way it's not, doesn't give me that. We're going to forget device there, and then I'm going to go to my 49 right here also and forget device there. Okay. Let me see if that works. That should definitely clear that out. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so the track is in 166. Boom. For those of you guys that don't know, my Behringer Motor 49 is my keyboard that I use. My Behringer Motor 49, that's the keyboard that I use. But I actually got rid of that keyboard. That keyboard is there because I have another keyboard that I'm going to be hooking up very shortly, and I want to test it out. So I got rid of that. I'm putting that one to the side. I may put that one with my other studio setup. The Behringer Motor 49, I'll put that with my other studio setup and then use this new keyboard. You know, it's the new Complete Control keyboard, Complete Control from Native Instruments. I've been wanted to get into that. You know, I had a Machine Studio and also an MK2 machine because I just wanted to test them out and just see the workflow and everything like that. I bought them a long time ago, and I haven't used them in a long time. They've just been kind of sitting on the shelf. But I always did want to get the Native Instruments MIDI keyboard, the Complete Control keyboard, because you know the Complete Control software, when I researched it and saw it, it looked crazy, man. You know, when they first came out with it, it's kind of old now. You know, of course they've updated updated Complete Control, but it's, you know, it looks like a crazy workflow, you know. So, and I saw a lot of people that were using it inside of the MPC software as a VST, and that Complete Control houses all of your VSTs, and you can actually pick them from the keyboard, from the actual keyboard. You can pick all your VSTs on your computer and load them in from the keyboard itself. You know, I know Akai has one that they also did something like that with it. I think it's called the Advanced 49, the Akai Advanced 49, what allows you to scroll through sounds on the actual keyboard. So yeah, but I kind of like the Complete Control. So I went on ahead and ordered that, and it came in. So I'm gonna be hooking that up shortly. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And if everything works out, if I test it out, everything works out, then yeah, I'll keep that as my keyboard. And hopefully I'll be able to incorporate that in my workflow, you know. But I gotta test it out first to see if it fits my workflow, see if I want to do anything with it, you know. But I'll get to that probably later on. All right, so we got the project changed. We got the project changed to the BPM, which is 166. Now we need to go grab the stems. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to open up my folders where I downloaded the beats. Go to Joint Kang, MPC beats, beats by date, 2021. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember where this beat is. Hopefully I can find it. Let's see. What's the name of it? Speak. There it is. Speak. There it is. Stems right here. Boom. Got it. All right. That's this is our beat right here. Our stems for the beat. We're gonna grab all of our tracks, highlight them all, and drag them in to Reaper. Separate tracks. Boom. There are all of my tracks there. There we go. Boom. Make sure I take my audio tail off. Okay, let's relabel these tracks over here real quick. This is the low sample right here. This is the high sample. This is the bass right here. This is the piano chords. This is the high piano chords. This is the piano sample. All right, this right here is the vocal. This right here is the 808. All right, then we get into the drums, kick, clap, open hat. This is my hi-hat right here. This is a percussion sound. We're gonna call that perk 1. This right here is the ride sound. We're gonna call that ride 1. This right here is my tambourine sound. We're gonna call this ride 2 right here. And then I think this is my crash. This is my crash. Boom. Okay, so we're gonna take these, put them where they go. I'm gonna take my 808 and pull it down here with my drum tracks, okay? Boom. Okay, I'm gonna create 2 more tracks to make my buses. I'm gonna make a drum bus. I'm gonna make an instrument bus. Okay. And then I'm gonna take my instrument bus and pull it all the way up at the top. And take my drum bus and put it above the first drum, which is my 808. All right, so that's my buses I have made. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna take my tracks and dock them inside of the buses. That way they stay there. Boom. My drum tracks inside of that bus. As inside of my drum bus as well. All right, done. All right, then I'm gonna create another track right here and call it mix bus. My mix bus right here. Okay. And then we should be good. And then also, let me make my beat tag. All right, there we are. Okay, let's color code our tracks real quick. I'm gonna do my buses. Always do my buses first, blue and red. Okay, then I'm gonna do my drums. 808 is light red. Kick and clap is always green. And then my hi-hats, always yellow. Boom, my percussion sounds. I'm gonna do my tam with my percussion sound. Boom, that's orange. And then I'm gonna do my rides. Light orange. And then I'm gonna do my crash like a purple color. All right, done. Low and high sample, I'm gonna do that. Green. My bass, I'm gonna do pink. My pianos, I'm gonna do blue. My piano sample, I'm gonna do a darker blue. And then my vocal track, I'm gonna do like a pink. All right, so now our tracks are color coded. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead on and save this. That way I don't lose anything. Boom, I still have the title copied, title of the beat copied. So all I gotta do is that, paste it there, and boom, hit save. And now my beat is saved and color coded and ready to go. KB Savage ass, what's good, King? Work. Well, do you use Contact Library? Yeah, I use Contact. I haven't used it in a long time. I actually recently started using Contact again. Like very recently. I used to use it all the time, like a long time ago. I used to use Contact all the time. You know, I had a bunch of libraries, all of that. But I stopped using Contact a few years ago. And then I still have it. You know, I still have my account with them. I still have everything. So I recently loaded it up again and started using it again. Like very recently, like within the past few months. You know, I started using Contact. But yeah, you know, Contact is awesome, man. You know, I just kind of saw a few things that a few kits that I like, a few sounds that I like. So I figured why not load it up again after all these years and try and work with it again. But yeah, it worked out, man. Definitely, man. I use Contact, man. Okay, so now we have got to. We have definitely got to get these sounds under control. Now, if y'all notice, everything is peaking. Let's pull up the mixer for you guys to see what's going on. Pull up my mixer. Okay, this is the mixer right here. Let me shrink that a little bit so you guys can see what's happening. Let me take it off of multiple tracks. Show multiple tracks. We want, okay, that's what we want. All right, this is the mixer right here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to my buses and raise those up. That way I can identify them in the mixer. Take my drum bus and my instrument bus, raise it up. That way I can always identify them. And then I'm gonna take my mix bus and raise that up as well. That way I always see that. That's not my mix bus. Mix bus is here. Hey, let me color code that as well. Let me do that as well. Put the mix bus as green. All right. All right, so first thing I got to do is I have to figure out where my beat is peaking. Of course, all of my sounds are peaking coming out of the MPC software. So what I want to do now is I want to do just a quick gain stage. So the way I do that real quick is by turning down the track levels, but I have to know how much to turn it down by. So what I do is I play the beat, and then the beat is going to register on the mixer in the levels, and it's going to tell me how much it's going over 0. It's going to light up red, and it's going to tell me how much. So let's play the beat, and let's see what it says. The object is to let the beat play all the way through. That way it catches the whole entire loop and it gives you the highest point of that sound. All right. So in red right here, you see it right here on the drum bus, right here on the instrument bus. So the highest point that it's giving me on my drums is +6. So it's going over +6.5. All right. So I'm gonna show you what I do just to quickly gain stage without having to do anything too major. What I do is I highlight all of the tracks, make sure they're all highlighted, Control A. And then I bring down the track level volume, not the fader volume, the track level volume. The track level feeds into the fader. I want to bring down the track level. That way my faders don't deceive me with the sound. Just because you turn down a fader doesn't mean that your sound is being turned down. You know, a lot of people don't realize it in mixing. And I have a tutorial on that as well to show you about your volume faders and what they do. You know, so if you're just turning down volume faders, then always remember your sound is still going through your plugins at the normal level. it's still going there. You know, just because you are hearing less of the sound, your signal is still pushing at that track level. So the object is to lower your sounds from the track level. And just remember that about all DAWs. They all come pre-fader. They're all like that. Pre-fader means that your sound is before the fader. So when you're lowering your fader, that doesn't mean you're lowering the sound. It just means you're lowering what you hear, not the actual excuse me, not the actual sound. So you lower it from the track level. Okay, now we were over +6, so what I usually do is go like 3 below that. Let's go -9. We're gonna go down. I'm gonna lower it down to -9, and that should give us the volume that we need. That should give us what we need. Okay, that's all of my tracks. All right. Now, if we look at the mixer, if we show the mixer, we play the track. If y'all notice, nothing is gonna be peaking. Everything is at a nice level. Nothing is peaking, and I haven't touched none of my volume faders yet. None of my faders yet. All right. So that's the idea, to lower your tracks without touching the faders just yet. And now, once you do that, now you can make adjustments to your faders where you see fit, where you see necessary. Okay. So first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to solo the drums. And what I do is I mix these stems first. I mix the stems first before I arrange the beat. The reason why is because I want to mix the whole entire beat with all of the sounds. I want to be able to hear everything. And then when I arrange the beat, then I may do some tweaks to the mixes or whatever once I arrange the beat. All right. So let's get started on that, man. Again, if you guys have any questions on what you see here, then just stop me. I'm going to be taking a look at the chat. Just make sure you drop it in the chat. That way, when I look at it, I can kind of answer you guys. But I kind of want to get as much of this done as possible. So I'm not going to really talk too much through it. So y'all just kind of follow along. And again, just ask questions if you guys see something that you don't understand or anything like that. All right. So let's go on and do these drums first. I'm going to highlight all of my drum sounds. Make sure my beat tag is out of the way. I'm going to highlight all of my drum sounds, all of them. And I'm going to bring the faders all the way down. And then I'm going to start raising them up. Object is to get that 808 right around -12. Almost 6, but not quite. All right. And then next thing I'm going to do with the 808 is I'm going to make sure that that's in mono. Okay. So I'm going to go to my routing tab, which is right here. And I'm going to take this slider right here, the width slider. It's all the way at 100%. So I'm going to take that, double click it, and it's going to put it at 0. So that makes sure my 808 is in mono. Reason why I'm doing that is because if y'all remember, I got a bass sound in here as well, a bass line. So I don't want those conflicting. So I'll show you how I deal with that in the mix. Man, we got a few people that's tipping already, man. Who we got? Who we got? Shout out to Mr. Boogie for the $10 tip, man. Appreciate that, man. Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for that, man. It's always a blessing when you guys actually tip to the channel, man. Shout out to Mr. Boogie for doing that for us, man. Shout out to these new followers as well, man. Who we got right here, bro? We got Jaheem SB. I think that's how you say that. Jaheem SB. New follower on Twitch. We got PC Gamer, Jet Pilot. Appreciate you tuning in on Twitch. We got Trophy TTV. A new follow on Twitch as well. Mr. Cold World, a new follow on Twitch. Shout out to This Is Florina. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all of the new followers on Twitch. We got Lamar Soul. Shout out to you, new follower on Twitch. And yeah, man, that seems about right. That seems about right, man. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Twitch, man. We really appreciate it, man. All you new guys, all the support that you guys show the channel, man. Thanks so much for that. Also, the tips and the tips and the donations are very much appreciated, man. You know, I'm gonna make sure that I have some hot stuff to give you guys because of those tips that you guys do. See what I'm saying? So, if you guys want to tip anything as well, if you guys want to tip anything to the channel just for taking in the content, getting all this information, then by all means do that. You can do that in the about section of my Twitch. You know, you guys on YouTube, you guys on IG, you would actually have to go join the Twitch to do that, but you're welcome to do that always, anytime you like, man. You know, just for the content, just to support the content that you guys get here. So I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much. All right. So let's go on and do that. We go solo these drums right here. We got the drum. I got my 808 going. All right. Now I'm gonna go on and bring up my kick. Let me put on my earphones. All right, let's see what we can do. All right. I want to clear out some of the bottom end of this kick. All right, so I'm gonna pull up my EQ. I'm gonna clear out some of the bottom end of this kick. That way it doesn't conflict too much with the 808. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these cues right here, and I'm gonna search for that thump that's in the kick right here at the top. So you can hear that thump right there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it down right here. Just leave it bumped up just a little bit. That way that thump in the kick comes out and not the low end bass of the kick. Now, remember, none of this stuff that you see right here is written in stone. You know, none of this stuff is written in stone that you do this in every mix. You know, just make sure that you mix the records that you mix according to what you see. I mean, according to what you hear on that particular track. I would not advise, you know, doing the same thing over and over for every single track. You have to mix according to the track that you're listening to. Sounds are different. They play different with different sounds. They can be the same. It can be the same piano you used in one beat and you use the same exact piano in another beat. But remember, the sounds that are around that same piano that you use are different. So now that piano will operate differently. You'll hear it differently. So it has to be mixed differently. So if you think that just because you use the same sound over and over again that you do the same thing to it, that's not how mixing works. And that's possibly why your beats may not be coming out well when you mix them. So you have to mix according to what you hear. You have to have a good ear for what you're doing, and also the knowledge of what you're doing. That way you don't over mix your track, but you also do the necessary things to it. All right. So all of this, all of this that you're seeing right now is for this particular track. What I'm hearing on this particular track. Okay. So I want my 808 and my kick to play well together. So I already got my kick and my 808 in mono. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give my 808 just a little bit of saturation. Just a little bit. If I can find it. Yeah, this is the Reaper saturation, the JS saturation. All right, and then right under that saturation, I'm gonna drag an EQ underneath that, and I'm gonna get rid of the low and rumble of my my 808. Just make sure that I don't have no low end buildup in my tracks. You know, that low end buildup can be a killer, and it can mask your other instruments if you don't watch it. What's up, Mr. T2C Productions? Amaritsu Shidori. This man eats, sleeps, and breathes making beat. Part of the business, man. You know? Like, they got somebody out there that's working twice as hard as me, man. So if you don't put your foot in the game and step up, then you're gonna get left behind, bro. You know, you gotta go in this craft. You gotta go in, man. You gotta give it your all, bro. Halfway don't cut it. And even if you give 90%, that last little 10% may be the reason why you didn't do anything with in this game, you know. So always give it your best, your 100%, man. You know. Watch your videos on key groups and putting 808s in mono. Yeah. That's it's a really good lesson for bass, man. Like bass is easy to mix, but it can be hard if you don't know what you're doing. Like, a lot of people have trouble mixing bass sounds or low end sounds. They have trouble, but it's not really hard. It's not at all to mix bass. You know, any bass sounds. You know, bass is just a fill-in of your beat. It's not hard, but you can make it hard. It's one of them things, like you can take something very simple and make it hard if you don't know what you're doing. All right, now I got my kick and my 808 under control. If you notice, every move that I'm making is keeping me in between 12 and 6 and -6 dB. Every move I'm making. Okay, I got my kick that's peaking a little bit over my 808 because I don't want my 808 to be the main sound in this beat. I want it to be heard and present, but I don't want it to be the main sound. This beat is very chill, but it's very punchy. So I don't want my 808 to carry the track. I want that kick drum to keep that punchiness and everything to carry the track in this particular beat. All right. So let's keep going with the other drums. All right. Nice clap. What I say, the reason why I have my faders brought all the way down and I'm introducing the sounds into the beat is because your ear perceives things better when it's coming in to something, not leaving out. You will be able to pick it up better. So when you're EQing, when you're leveling your sounds with volume, when you're doing all of that, try and always work it to where you're introducing something into your beat. That way your ear picks up better. Like, if you notice, when I'm EQing, what I'll do is I'll take a lot out and then slowly start increasing it back into the beat. That way I can hear where I want to stop. I don't do it the other way around and try and take stuff out and try and gauge it by that, because your ear perceives things better when it's coming into a mix rather than leaving a mix. So I always work around that concept. I try and bring things into my mix instead of trying to gauge it when it's leaving my mix. Now, as much as these drum sounds are good and they are nice, I don't need to do too much to them. The reason why is because, of course, they came out of my Iron Fist drum kit. This is the particular sound that I want. That's why I use my own drum sounds. So I don't have to fix anything in this mix with my drums, with anything that's happening in here, because I did all of that in the MPC software when I made the beat. You know, I pitched my drum sounds how I wanted them. And that helps out with the mixing. When you can pitch your drum sounds in different manners, different tones, that will help it fit better with the beat. Now you're not trying to fix things whenever it's time to start mixing your beat. So I took care of all of that while I'm making the beat. You know, most of you guys most of you guys can kind of pay attention to my beat making process, and you see me when I'm doing that. You see me when I'm tuning the drums and I'm pitching them different ways. That's to get them to fit better in the mix. That way, when I get to the point that I'm at now in Reaper, I'm not doing all kind of crazy stuff to my drums, you know, trying to get some sounds to do what they supposed to do. Okay. Okay, the one thing that I will do is I want to take this clap. I'm going to put an EQ on this clap. Okay. And I'm going to use the Luftig's EQ on this clap. The reason why is because I want a transparent sound. I don't really want to mess with that clap sound because I like it, but I just want to clear out some of that low end of that clap. See, if you notice, there's a low end in that clap. So I'm going to start here with the 40 hertz. I'm going to decrease that. See, some of it is gone. Let's go next here. Okay, that's good. Then I'm going to bump up some of the 640 and the 2.5 to give it a little snap. See, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to introduce it back into the mix. Remember, you hear things better when it's coming in. So I'm dropping it all the way out and I'm going to introduce it back into the mix. Right when I start hearing that snap to the clap. And then I'm going to give it some high end shine with the 2.5. The reason why I want to do that is because if you notice, the clap has like a little reverb on it. See if you can hear that when the clap hits. It has like, it's not just a dry clap. It has a little reverb on it. That reverb is what I'm boosting with this high end frequency. I want that reverb to be heard when the clap hits. So with all of this that I did with this EQ, all of this stuff that I did with the 640, the 160, the 40 hertz, these movements that I made, it dampened the reverb. But this high end boost brought that reverb out in the clap again. Now it has that hollow echo feel, and that's the reason why I chose this clap in this beat, is because it has that high end echo feel. When I made the beat, I have this high end echo that's on this high end reverb echo that's on the clap. But if I don't watch out, when I clear the clap up, I can get rid of that same thing that I wanted in the beat. So this high end boost right helps me to keep that and keep it real present. Christopher Jones, do you always mix and do your arrangement in Reaper? Yes, all my mixing happens in Reaper. Yeah, I do what's called a static mix in the MPC software. I have a YouTube video on that as well. A static mix is just preparing your sounds to be mixed for this final mix. That's what a static mix is. So when I'm making a beat, all of the stuff that I'm doing, shaping my sounds with the EQ, getting the tones that I want, the quality sounds, that's the static mix. It's preparing my sounds to where by the time they get here, I don't have nothing to fix, nothing to do. You know, and if you notice, I'm going to play the beat in the MPC software. This is the beat. Now, some would say this is already mixed, man. Some would listen to this beat and be like, damn, what the hell he need to do to it? See what I'm saying? So I make sure that I have a damn near perfect sound coming out of my MPC software. Everything is shaped, carved. I got all the frequencies I want. Everything is good while I'm making the beat. I just do it so fast that it looks like part of my beat making process. But that's why I pull up EQs on every track and I get the sound that I want. I carve the sound and shape the sound that I want of that instrument. That way, by the time I get to Reaper, there's nothing that needs to be done to it, but just a few little bells and whistles and the beat is already mixed. But that's called a static mix. That's what I do inside the MPC software. The actual mix happens in Reaper, which is what I'm doing now. Okay, so I got my reverb on the clap. Let's bring in the kick and the 808. Let me know for you guys that have on headphones or for you guys that's listening really well. Let me know if you can, if what we did, you can hear that echo in the clap, that resonant echo in the clap. Let me know if you can hear that. I'm gonna play it again. Let me know if you guys can hear that. I can hear it really, really well. You know, like it's almost like it jumps out now. Just not the clap itself. The clap itself isn't powerful, but you can absolutely hear that reverb that's on the tail end of that clap sound. And that's the exact reason why I chose that particular clap, because of that echo. If I don't mix it in a certain way, then I could possibly lose that same thing that I wanted in the beat when I chose that particular clap. All right, now that we got everything under control with that, what I'm gonna do is I already got my saturation on the wait, this is supposed to be here. This is supposed to be there. There we go. I want to put a little saturation on this kick drum as well, just to kind of give it a little bit of a boost. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing a little something that it can use. Let's do that. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. Definitely, that's it. Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. Definitely. All right, all right. So now on the drum bus, on the bus, with all that's all of my drum sounds are feeding through. All right, now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have an EQ. The first thing is an EQ, and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show you guys why in just a minute. I'm gonna do what's called backwards mixing on my drum bus. So I'm gonna put the EQ there, but I'm not gonna use it, not right now. Okay, so it's just there, my first plugin. Okay, now I'm gonna go into I'm gonna take the CLA 2A, and I like to use this on my drum bus. That way it gives it a bit more thickness, especially in a beat like this. Sometimes I don't use it that much, but in a beat like this where I want the drum pattern to be the main focus, obviously I'm gonna put some type of compression on my drum bus. That way I can give it a bit more beef, but still tame the peaks of it. So let's go down and set this. What I'm looking for is about -2 dB of gain reduction. That works right there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bump the volume up, the gain. So now what this is doing is keeping my drums under control. It's keeping my drums under control. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, my dry wet knob on the plugin. This is like the parallel compressed signal of the plugin, and I'm gonna put I don't want all of this plugin right here on my drum track. I'm just going to slowly increase it to where I start to hear when this plugin starts to take effect. So this is none. I got it all the way on 0. You can instantly tell a difference. This is none of this compressor right here. And I'm going to slowly bring it up and mix this compressor in with my dry signal. You can literally hear it. You can hear what it's doing. Okay, now that I have that, I'm gonna go and grab my saturation on my drum bus. I like to use the soft tube saturator on my drum bus. If I have it, do I have it? Saturation knob, soft tube saturation knob. And that'll give, because I'm able to control with this particular saturation, I'm able to control right here what I want the saturation to attach itself to. So high, neutral, or low, the low end frequencies of my whole entire drum pad. So let's put it on neutral, and I'm going to raise the saturation up. That's awesomely amazing right there, man. I can actually put a little bit more of this 2A in here. So let's go to the parallel signal. Right now I got it at 51, so it's about halfway. The signal is halfway on my drum bus. So I'm going to increase it just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Okay, now that I got that taken care of, my saturation is good. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab my clipper, my soft clipper, and that's gonna go at the end for my drum bus. That's gonna make sure that everything stays where it needs to be. Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? Is it here? Is it in my recently used? No, 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 nope, it's not. Okay, let's go to effects. And we're going to find it. There it is, my buzz cut right there. Boom. Let's set that. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a ceiling. All right, there we go. All right, so now with this EQ that I didn't use, I'm gonna use this to gauge and see what my drum track is doing. So I'm gonna use my analyzer to see what my drum bus is doing now. Now, if you notice, when I say gauge what it's doing, the EQ is the first. So none of these plugins are feeding through this EQ right here. The EQ that I put was the first thing. All of these plugins come after. So a few of you guys are probably looking at this and saying, okay, he put all these effects on here, but what is he gauging with this EQ if it's not coming after the effects? He made all these moves with these effects, but then the EQ should come after that. That way you can gauge what these effects are doing. But that's not what I want to see with this EQ. What I want to see is what my drum track is doing before these plugins are happening to it, because I'm going to adjust this to feed into these plugins now. That's why I put the EQ first and I didn't touch it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tame a little bit of the bass. See how the bass is clearing up right here in this frequency right here? So I like that. And then I'm going to go here where the clap is. If you look at this, you can tell where all the instruments are hitting. See, my clap is hitting right here in the 2K range. Give my clap a little snap. And then if you notice, my high end right here is lacking a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead on and bump that up as well. Now you can hear my cymbal very good. You can hear that crash very, very good. You can hear all of those riser sounds very, very good because of that high end boost right here. All right. And all of this is now feeding into those plugins that I just put up there. So the drum track is pretty much mixed. All right, so let's now bring in our lowest instrument, which is our bass right here. First thing we're gonna do is grab all of the instrument tracks and we're gonna lower those as well. Put those fader volumes down. Now we're going to go ahead on and introduce these into the track. Let's start with the bass. All right, I'm gonna go ahead on and take the, I'm gonna grab my, I'm gonna grab my Lufticus right here, the same EQ, transparent EQ, and we're gonna work with that bass sound. Nice, nice, really, really nice. All right. All right, now I got this bass and this 808 playing nice together. Check this out. All right, now this is two bass sounds that's in the same frequencies, but check them out. 808 and the bass sound. As a matter of fact, I can give this bass some saturation as well. This bass sound, to kind of make it jump out a little bit, but I'm gonna saturate the high end of the bass. So I'm gonna switch this to high. On the 808, I'm saturating the low end. So I want to saturate the high end of my bass. Literally, they're in their own space, and that's two bass sounds that's playing over each other, but you can clearly hear them in their own space. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go on and let me decrease this on this 808 a little bit. Some of that rumble. Oh, I like that. I like that. Real clear. All right, let's go grab these piano chords. Let's start with these. Let's start with the low end sample. Nice. I like that. I like how that's working. All right, let's introduce the piano chords that back the sample up. right, let's separate those two sounds. We're gonna separate them. So I'm gonna grab my EQ. I'm gonna grab my EQ. Put this on 1. All right, and then grab that same EQ and put it on the piano chords. All right. Then let's bring that one up as well. Boom. All right, so we got the sample on the left, piano chords on the right. See how they in the same frequency? We got to separate those. So let's do it. Nice, really, really nice. All right. So what I did here, I'm gonna show you guys what I did here with this EQ. What I did with the low sample EQ is I took off, I noticed that there's a bit too much high end of this low end sample. So I shaved it a bit. I shaved the high end off a bit right here with this curve. But then if you notice, I boosted it just a little bit right here to where the peak is. That way it can kind of shine a little bit better. But I want to take off that high end sound that's mixing too much in with the piano. All right. And then with this piano right here, what I did with this is I switched the EQ to mid-side mode. Those of you guys that aren't familiar with what mid-side processing is, in a nutshell, mid-side processing allows you to process the stereo signal as the sides, and it also allows you to process the middle signal, the mono. So you can process those individual of each other, separate of each other. So right here, I switched it to mid. Okay. And what that's doing is that's clearing out the middle of this piano. It's not touching the stereo field, the stereo sound of the piano. The piano is in stereo, but I'm clearing out the mid, just the mid, and leaving the stereo intact. And what that's doing is it's making room for the sample to breathe. So it's almost like I'm fitting the sample inside of this piano. I cut out the middle of the piano. I carved out the middle of the piano and left the stereo, and then fit this sample inside of it. So listen to it and see if you can hear that. Let me turn off the drums. So now the piano is like hanging around inside of this sample. Because remember, I want the sample to be the present thing. The piano just has to back it up, give it a little bit of. So in theory, what I did is I made the sample the middle sound. It's still in stereo, but it's more focused on the middle sound. Then I took the piano sound that's in stereo and I carved out the middle. That way that focuses more on the stereo sound. So you got the sample in the middle and then the piano that surrounds it. I stuck the sample in the middle of that. That way the sample sound is always present, but it's not conflicting with the piano sound. All right. Let's go it on, and we're gonna grab this this high end piano. I may need to make that just a bit skinnier, but I want to do that very slightly. All right, so I'm going to use that left-click EQ, and that's going to give us that effect that we need. All right, so all I want to do is I want to first of all, I want to boost the shine of that piano because it's a high-end piano, so I'm gonna boost the shine of it. Remember, I drop things all the way out and then bring it back in. That way I can hear what I'm doing. So I'm dropping this high end all the way out, and I'm gonna bring it back in to hear it. See, that's nice. That shine right there is nice. Now what I'm going to do is tame the mid frequencies of that piano because I don't want the middle to crowd what the mid frequencies of my first piano chords is doing. There it is. There it is. Really, really nice. All right. So you can pretty much hear all of these instruments right here that I just introduced. Just see if you can hear them all. See if you can space them all out in your head, where they all are. The bass, the low end sample, the piano chords, and the high piano chords. Check it out. You can kind of hear everything in its own space. All right. Next, what I want to do is bring in that piano sample. Now, this sample right here is on the high end register. Let's solo it and listen to it. That's just a sample, a chopped up piano sample that I put in. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it in with that high end piano sample because that's the closest sound that's to it. So I'm gonna engage that, and that high piano, those high piano chords, that's what I'm gonna mix it with. See how those two sounds are close together? I'm gonna separate them a little bit, and I know how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna take that left-click EQ, and we're gonna do the same exact thing that we did before. I'm gonna get rid of the mids, and then I'm gonna boost the highs just a little bit to make it shine a little bit. Actually, what I'm doing is doing the opposite. I'm taking a little bit of the shine out, man, because when I lowered it down, when I dropped it all the way out and I was bringing it in, I heard exactly where it fit. So I don't want to really boost the shine of it. I think it's going to compete with those high end piano chords too much. So that's the beauty about dropping sounds all the way out and bringing them back in. Like I said, your ear is able to pick up better where the sound needs to fall. So when I dropped it out, all the way out, and started bringing it back in, I heard where I should stop it. And like when I first started, I was gonna boost it a little bit, but now hearing this, I'm literally gonna tame it a little bit, and then I'm gonna boost up the mid frequencies. So now that sample is kind of hanging around right underneath this. It sounds just a little bit better that way, instead of me trying to make that sample pop out a little bit more. It sounds better just kind of hanging underneath the piano chords, the high piano chords. Let's introduce the other sounds and see what's up. That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay. Now let's go on and we're gonna solo the low sample. And now I'm gonna bring in the high sample. That's the only sound we have left, and then the vocal. Now my only job with this high sample is just to bring it in to where now it fills this low sample into a full sample now. High and low will make a full sample. So let's bring up the volume and introduce it into this sample. And then what I'm gonna do is, remember, it's a high-end sample. So now I have to bring in my high instruments, that other piano sample, which I just worked on, and also those high-end piano chords to make sure that this is still okay. So let's do that. Let's bring in those high-end instruments. I'm gonna go to my high-end piano chords and I'm gonna drop out a little bit of, just a little bit of the mid. Because I can hear it conflicting with the piano, with the high piano sample. So I'm going to drop out just a little bit of the mids. See, that sounds way better. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in the piano sample as well. You literally hear everything perfectly, man. All right. So let's go on and let's engage the drum track as well and see what's up. All right, let's bring the vocal in to lay right underneath the whole entire track. Now, I don't want the vocal to be heard. I want it to be present. I don't want it to overpower anything. I just want it to float around in the track. Okay. Because the reason why I wanted to do that is because I still have to process the instrument bus. So once I process the instrument bus, if this vocal is too loud, then it's going to now pop out over the track, which I don't want. So I'm just placing it slightly in the background of the instruments. And then when we process the instrument bus, like we did the drum bus, then you're going to see what it does to the vocal. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, now it's hanging around in the back. Okay. On to our instrument bus, what I'm going to do first is I am going to do that same thing, but I'm going to do it. You remember on the drum bus, I put the EQ there so I can see what it's doing. On this one, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it with the other EQ. And the reason why I'm using this EQ is because I don't want to mess with the sound. I don't want to blanket the sound of my instruments too much. So I'm using this transparent EQ. That way it literally deals with just the actual sound. Okay. So this is going to be my what I'm going to fix the track, not fix, but what I'm going to shape the instruments with after I'm done processing it. Okay. So we're not doing anything to this just yet. It's just going to sit there. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to compress the track, make sure that everything is heard. So on my drum bus, I use the CLA 2A to make sure my drums are under control. With my instrument bus, I use the SSL. Whatever that is. I use the SSL compressor right here. Okay, right here. Boom. And this is gonna give me, this is gonna do the same thing. It's gonna contain my instruments, but still bring up a nice little sound in my, bring out a nice little vibrance in my instrument track. All right, so I'm gonna first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dial the ratio back to 2. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab the threshold, bring it, dial it back. See, if you notice, my instruments are getting lower and lower. Okay, now after I do that, I want to set my attack. I want to set my attack to about -3. This is gonna make sure that my instruments stay under control, but it doesn't compress too much of it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, with the makeup gain, I usually give the makeup gain about 3.5. And then I'm going to slowly back off the threshold. And this is going to start introducing my instruments back into the track. Remember, the ear picks up things when it's going into the track versus you taking it out. So this is going to, now if you notice, my instruments are dull. Now I'm going to let up off the threshold, and this is going to introduce everything back into the track. And that's how I set my threshold to where it needs to be. Okay, that works. And then after I set that, then all I do is just give it the makeup gain that it needs to fill out the track. See, and if you notice what it's doing, if you notice, my vocal, the vocal has now jumped out. But it's not too harsh simply because we floated it underneath the track at the beginning. If I would have made the vocal present to hear it, then this compressor right here would have brought the vocal out more. And you would have heard it all over the track versus just hearing it nice in the background. And I know I'm good when I start getting that compression to about right at about 4. You know, when I start getting my gain reduction right to about 4. I know I'm good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my saturation right here. I'm going to go to my JS saturation right here, and I'm going to give the instruments just a little bit of sizzle. You instantly heard everything jump out instantly just with that saturation. See what I'm saying? That's the beauty about saturation. Saturation attaches itself to those necessary things and makes everything nice, you know, makes everything really, really full and nice. If you know how to use it. If you don't, then you could possibly mess up your track with saturation. You really can. It's one of those small things that will do a lot of good to your track, or it will damage your track if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so let's go here to the Lepticus, and now we're going to work with this to give to kind of shape out what's feeding into these tracks right here. I don't think I need to put a buzz cut at the ending of my bus here to control anything, because I kind of like these peaks being very sharp. I don't want to contain them. You know, I kind of like just the way they vibe with the track. You know, sometimes I may put a soft clipper at the ending of the bus just to make sure that I'm controlling a few things, but I just kind of like the feel that this is giving. So I don't think I want to do that. So we're just going to shape it. There it is. There it is. Nice, nice, nice. I like that. All right, all right. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think I want to give this sample right here. I think I want to give this a little bit of reverb. Let's do that. I'm gonna give it just a little bit of reverb. Let's grab my Valhalla. Yeah, it makes it a little bit more dreamier. It's not as sharp. I kind of like that. Let's see what that does to the mix. A little bit less. I like that. Really, really good. That's it. Now on to the mix bus. I got these tracks feeding into the mix bus. Okay. Let's process the mix bus here. All right. First thing I'm going to do to the mix bus is I am going to take the SSL. All right. I'm gonna go into the presets, and I have one preset right here for the master bus. Boom. And I kind of start here with this preset right here. Has everything set to the sound that I want, the level that I want coming out of my two buses, my drum bus and my instrument bus, going into the mix bus. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we need to take our buses and route them there. So let's do that. Let's grab our route right here, drag it here to the mix bus. Boom, and then we're gonna go here, right click on it and take it out of the master. And then we're gonna take our drum bus and do the same thing, route it here, grab it here, drop it there, and then take it out of the master. Now everything is playing straight through the mix bus. Okay. Okay, so with our compressor on, boom, let's see what's going on. Yes, I like that fullness that it gives it. Yes. Boom. We got our compressor set. Let's grab the saturation. After that. Nope, nope, not that, not that, not that, not that. Just saturation. Do that. All right, boom, got that. After that, I'm going to make sure that I get the proper tone out of the track that I need, the whole entire track. So we're going to grab our EQ. Not this one, not this one. I just keep pulling that up. Gonna grab our EQ. Make sure we get the right tone that we got out of the track. Let's see. See that right there? We don't want that in there. We don't want that tone in there. So let's drag that. Let's drop that out. Let's go searching around in that 400 range as well. We don't want that. Let's drop that out. In that 2K range is gonna have something around that clap too. Let's grab that. We don't want that either. I hear something else too. I hear something else. I hear something else. Let's see if I can find it. I hear it. I hear it. I know I hear it. There it is. There it is. Nice. Nice. Okay, now that we got that under control, now I'm going to grab my other EQ. Now that we've done our subtractive EQ, now we're going to do a little bit of additive EQ. It's always good to do your subtractive EQ first, simply because you want to take out the frequencies that you don't need. That way, when you add the frequencies you do, it's not going to amplify the messed up frequencies. So you've already dropped those out. What's up? What DAW is this? This is the Reaper DAW. Reaper. Software is not hardware, guys. Thank you for clearing that up. We appreciate that. Anytime I do anything like this, then the description will have pretty much everything in it, you know, just in case you guys do show up and don't know what's going on. The description of the video will have pretty much everything in it, what I'm using, what we're doing, everything with all of that. Boom, I like this, man. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like it. I literally like it. Okay. Now. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I am going to grab the isotope. We're going to grab the isotope neutron 3. All right, I'm gonna go to the mix assistant, and then I'm gonna put it on. I put it on balanced, and then I'll put it on low intensity, and then I'll play the beat through this. And I use this as like a gauge to see the difference between this and my beat, my mix. Don't see Reaper in the description. It's there, my man. It's there. It's there, dude. Trust me, it's there. Not the title, the video description. Not the title. It's there. Kind of like that. And the track is pretty much done. All we need is just all we need to do is just kind of arrange it a little bit. So let's do that real quick. Let's throw out a quick arrangement. We're gonna make the arrangement real quick. Not gonna do nothing too crazy with it. I don't want to do anything too crazy with it. Bring in the piano chords. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Then I'm gonna bring in the gonna drop this out right here. Then we're gonna drop the drums out right here. Boom, we're gonna duplicate this over right here. Then I'm gonna bring in the bass and a few percussion sounds. Let's bring in the 80, let's bring in the bass as well. And then I'm gonna bring, that's where the drop is gonna happen. Duplicate over. And I'm going to bring in the breathe right here as well. Gonna drop out the drums. All right, and I'm gonna bring the piano sample in the last part of the chorus. Boom, there's the intro right here. There's the intro. Oh. Got my intro. I have my verse. I got my chorus right here. Hook. Boom. All right. Boom. Then we're going to do a duplicate of the verse right here. Call this verse 2. How am I going to start that off? I think I'm going to take out all of the drums. We're going to take out all of the drums. We're going to take out all of the drums. Boom. Boom. I'm gonna take out that double one, and just make it start over again. And then I'm gonna bring in the hi-hats right here. I'm gonna bring in a hi-hat. I'm gonna bring in the hi-hats right here. Nice. And I'm gonna take out the bass right here. All right, and then I'm gonna split the me up right here. There we go. And there's the beat right there. Boom, boom, boom. Let's grab the beat tag, throw it on there.
Hey, Purple World made that. Hey. Purple World made. Purple World. Purple World. Purple World. 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 The world. The world. Purple world. World. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world made that. Purple World made that. World made that. World. Purple World. Purple World made. World made that. The world made that. Purple World made that.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Purple World. Purple World. Purple World. Purple World. Purple World. Purple World. Purple World made it. Purple World made it. Purple World made that. Made that. Purple World made that. Made that. Purple World. made that. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world. Purple world made that.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
Purple world made that. Purple world. Purple world made that. Purple world made that. Purple world made that. Purple world. Purple world.
All right, all right, all right, all right. We are good. 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 That boy, dumb question, but do you mix before or after arranging? Dumb question, but do you? The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. Always remember that, bro. Ask anything, man. The only dumb question is the one that you do not ask. Do I mix before or after arranging? It depends, you know. Like, music is no set sign. You always hear me tell you guys that, man. Like, that's a #1 rule you have to understand about making music. Like, for you guys that are trying to learn, I urge you to stop trying to box music into something that you always do. Something that I always do. You know, this is how it happens for newcomers a lot, or people who are trying to understand this game. Music is not an exact science. To make it, to mix it, it's not. So anytime you think in terms of, do you always do this, or do you always do that, or is this something you always do, get that out your mind. It is based on your workflow, first of all. It is based on what you hear. It is based on your design, your creation, from making a beat to mixing it to all of that. It's not an exact science. So you have to understand that. Get out of that mindset of, do you always do this to a track? Or do you always do that to a track? Or is this something that you always do? Or, you know, do you do this to a track? It just depends. Literally, it depends on what you are hearing. And the reason why I urge you to get out of that mindset of trying to box music into something you always do is because if you get into that mindset, then you're going to miss the creativity of it. Being creative. This is what we do. Understand this thing that we're all in, a part of. It's something creative. Being creative is a part of you. That's the whole idea of being creative. You are the creator. So if you're creative, you are in it. Now, nobody's you. So you're going to have to do it your way in order to be creative, because it's you. You're the creator. So you're the creator of a beat. You're the creator of a mix. The object is to learn how to do it well, learn the skill, learn the craft of it well, whether it's beat making, whether it's mixing, learn the skill, learn the craft of it well, learn all of that well, so you can do it in your fashion, in your way. That eliminates, do you always do this? Or is this something you do? Or is this something you don't do? Or is that eliminates all of that. You have to be the creator. So you take it in very, very well, and you understand the craft very, very well. Whether that's you need help with it and you reach out for the help, whatever you're doing, take in the knowledge and take in the craft very well. That way you can now become creative with it. Creative meaning you do it your way. If you want to mix beats first, then arrange them, that can be your creative process. If you want to arrange beats first and then mix them, that is your creative process. If you want to make drum patterns first before melodies, that is your creative process. If you want to make melodies before you make drum patterns, that is your creative process. The object is to be the creator your way. You become the creator. So please, I urge you guys, stop trying to box music into some set science that always happens this way or always does this, or do you do this for this, or do you do that for that? It depends on what I am creating and what I hear. If you start to think in music in that terms, then it starts to unlock your mind with all type of things you can do. You don't stay boxed in just because you saw somebody do something and you want to be like them. Or you took this in from somebody and now you're trying to do it their way. You know, somebody else's way of doing something is probably working totally against your workflow, and that's why you can't move nowhere. And a lot of people don't think about that. All you think about is just following what you saw from somebody else. Somebody else's workflow, trying to copy their workflow, could work totally against the way your mind works. But you're just trying to copy them so bad, or trying to imitate them so bad. And it's literally working against the way your mind works. So the object is to take in knowledge about the craft. The more knowledge you take in about the craft, the more you understand about it, that is what's going to determine your workflow. Not somebody you watching, not somebody you asking. That's going to determine your workflow. How well I know this craft and what I did with it, that determined how I work this way. Not if I always do this, or if I always saw this, or if I saw somebody do this, or if I saw somebody do that. I just took in as much knowledge as I can about this craft, whether it's videos, whether it's somebody helping, whether it's school that you've attended. I've taken in the knowledge that I need to about this craft. That's how I'm able to come up with my creative process on doing it. So that's what I urge you guys to do. Always make sure that you get into your creative process. You are the creator. This is a creative thing that we do. Making music, mixing music, mastering music. This is a creative thing. So you need to become the creator of it, not somebody else that you was following. You need to eventually become the creator of it. That means how you see it, your way, your view, your idea of doing it. And as much as you can become the creator of it, that is how well you're going to get at it. You see what I'm saying? Following other people and that's you, that can hinder you more than it can help you. What you do is you take in the things that those people do, and you don't look to imitate those people. You look to take those things and now shape them into your creative process, what you would do. So all of the stuff that y'all saw me do with this beat and this mix, all of that stuff that y'all saw me do, that's not for you to go run back to your DAW, get the same exact plugins and put them in the same places that I put them. That's not for you to do that. You're about to mess up your whole entire mix if you do that. But if you understand when I explain what a saturator does, if you understand when I took the low end out of this and what that did, and when I boosted up this and what the difference between these two EQs are, if you paid attention to all of that stuff, that's learning your craft well. That's gonna tell you how you sharpen your creative process. Not going to imitate somebody and just what they did. You see what I'm saying? So pay attention to the understanding of the craft. Whenever you see these type of videos, whenever you take in this type of content, understand the craft of it. Not just what dB did he put his kick drum at, or what level did he do this at, or what. That's not the way you want to take this craft in, because the next beat I'm at ain't gonna be at that same level, that same dB, and it's not gonna be the same stuff that I do on it. So you want to learn, why did he do that? Why did he position his drum sounds this way? Why did he put an EQ here? Why did he put this, that? That way you can know the ideas of it, the concepts of it. And once you get back in your software, now you can take those ideas and those concepts and apply them to your creative process, not just follow what I did. You feel what I'm saying? So I hope you guys understand that, man. I just want to take a little time to explain that to you guys, because us as teachers, tutors, you know, content creators, trust me, all of us are asked that question, you know, about our plugins, what we use, what this, and that's all fine and good, man. But you have to understand that you could be trying to imitate someone that works totally against your thought process. You don't think the same as me. You guys out there, you guys don't think the same as me. Your brain doesn't work the same way mine works. So trying to imitate me could be going totally against your creative process. Trying to imitate me and what I do. I found my workflow that fits with my creative process. And I found it because I learned my craft very, very well. So I urge you guys to do the same. Learn your craft very, very well. All of these people you see, all of the things you see, the videos you watch, the tutorial, learn the concepts of why things happen. Not just what happened on the video, not trying to imitate what happened. Learn why. Why is that EQ used? Why is that compressor used? Why is that? And all of those whys are going to help you to come up with your own creative process and how you mix your beats, make your beats, master, you know, how you arrange your project. All of that is going to help you come up with your, because you understand the concepts behind things, behind why things happen, not just what happened. But this beat is pretty much mixed. This beat is pretty much done, you know. Now what I'm gonna do is the last and final part that I never really show you guys is I have to record this beat out. Now what most people would do is they would render this. They would render this track out. That's the first thing they would do. They would render it. You know, being that the beat is mixed, it's ready, it's all good to go, they will render it. But what I like to do is I like to record the beat. I like to record it. You see what I'm saying? And I'll show you guys why I like to do that. I like to turn one of my tracks into a recording track, and it's going to literally record the beat on that track. Now, what that allows me to do is I was taught mixing on a console, a hardware console, how to mix. You know, live. I started off with live music, live band music, all of that stuff, you know, bands. You know, I didn't get into this digital world until later. So I still like to incorporate those same concepts that I learned in this digital realm of mixing music. And one of the concepts that I was taught was to live mix. When you render something out, it's just rendering out what you did. But if you record something, you are able to make slight theta adjustments while your beat is recording. So you can actually control different volumes, different panning while your beat is recording. So if I want to bump up a little volume in the drums when the chorus comes in, then take it back down a little bit when the verse comes in, you can do all of that live automation while your beat is being recorded. And that's the idea of mixing on a hardware console. You'll see these mixing engineers, they mix on a hardware console, and they literally, while the track is being recorded, you see them making adjustments to the track. You know, minor slight adjustments to give it more of this in certain areas of the track. You may want the harmonies to pop out in certain parts of the track. So they give it that, you know, in that particular part of the track. So you literally see them working the faders while the track is being recorded. So I always wanted to learn that, and a few people did teach me how to do that, how to live automate while a track is being recorded. You have to know the track really, really good, and you have to be able to anticipate the movement of the track to know what move to make before you get there, before that part of the track comes. You have to know it really, really well. I make these beats, so I know them really, really well. I know what parts of the track I want to do what, and what parts I want to fade out, what parts I want to come down a little bit, what parts I want to be lively. I made the beat, so I know all of that. So it allows me to live automate. So this is something that I like to do, and that's why instead of rendering the track, I record it I print it. It's called a print track, and that's what the name of this new track is called. It's called a print track. So let's label that print track. PRTTRK. This is now my print track. Okay, and I usually do the print track red. That means everything stops there. Okay, now everything is going through this mix bus. That's what we just mixed on, this mix bus right here. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click on that, and I'm gonna take that out of the master fader. Okay, when I take that out of the master fader, that means the beat is no longer playing. Nothing and no sound. There's nothing going through the master of the track anymore. The mix bus is going through the master. I'm going to take this and I'm going to route it to the print track. So now my beat is going into the print track and that's going to the master. Okay, so now we should hear it.
Purple world.
Okay, now that we hear it, what I want to do is turn the print track into an incoming recording signal. Right now, when you're inside of a DAW, your tracks are set to record what's going out of the track. I need to record what's coming into the track, meaning what's coming out of the track. Your microphone goes in, it comes out. That's what it's designed to record. So if you hook up a microphone to this, it's recording your microphone. If you hook up a MIDI controller to this, it's recording your MIDI modes. I need to turn this track into an incoming track to record what's coming into it. Okay, so let's go here. I'm gonna right click on the record button in Reaper, and then you go to record output, and you want to record stereo. I think I explained that backwards. Your track, your digital audio workstation is set to what's coming in. So it's recording an incoming microphone. It's recording a incoming MIDI controller. Your keyboard is set to record what's coming in. I'm switching this track to record what's going out of the track, which means any sound that's coming out of this track, record. Not what's coming into it. Any microphones, anything that's coming out of the track, record. So I have this mix bus, which is my whole entire beat, going to this track. The whole entire track is now coming out of this print track. It's going to print that on the track. It's going to record that to the track. All right. Interest loan. What is the best thing about the MPC? The best thing about it for me, is that it's solid. You know, that's the best way that I could explain it. You know, it's solid. It's a solid piece of machinery, man. And there's a reason why it has stood the test of time since back in the day, since a long time ago. You know, the older MPCs, you know, Jay Dilla and all of them, they used to rock on that, the older MPC. There's a reason why it stood the test of time. It's a very solid built music making machinery, piece of machinery. You know, it doesn't lack in anywhere. They've put in the time and the effort over the years to upgrade it and perfect it to what producers need. The workflow that they ask for, you know, they've taken their time to do that. That's why the MPC has stood the test of time, you know, throughout all of the years. It has. You know, you can go watch, you know, 20 years ago when people was on the MPC, you know, P Rock and Premier, you know, Primo and all of them, you know, they was all on the MPC, man. So you can go watch them all when they was working on the MPC years ago, and you can see how it has stood the test of time. It's just like that, man. You know, that's the same thing like people say about Yamaha and, you know, about all of those companies that have stood the test of time. You know, they were used a long time ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, they were used. And people still use those products today, you know, so that's the best thing to me about it. It has stood the test of time. You know, it's proven that it is a very well built machine that can make music if you learn how to use it well. It's proven that because countless numbers of hit records have been made on MPCs, countless, and still being made on MPCs. So it just has proven all of that, man. It says they're a very reputable company. Although, you know, business has to happen, and there may be some things we don't like about them. You just have to understand that's business. But as far as their product is concerned, they're a very reputable company. If they were not, then they would not have stood the test of time. No matter what we think about them or what we believe about them, they would not have stood that test of time. You guys have seen businesses that come in and go. Akai isn't one of those. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just a well-built piece of machinery, man. So, you know, it just, you know, if you learn how to use it, if you learn how to understand it and use it, you know, understand what it's designed for and don't step outside of the realms of it. You know, a lot of people step outside of the realms of what this machine is designed for. They step outside of those realms. You know, and notice what I said, what it's designed for. Not capable of. Design and capability, two different things. This machine is capable of creating mixing and mastering a whole entire beat. It's capable of that. Would I trust all my music in this machine to do all of that? No, because it's just the capabilities of it. It has those capabilities. It was not designed for that. It was designed for the making of those beats. It just has a few capabilities to mix, master, and do all that stuff like that. You know, but the reason why I do it in a DAW is because this DAW and many other DAWs were designed for that. They are designed for mixing. So they're going to have a few more things in it that a mixing engineer would need versus just mixing on the MPC. You see what I'm saying? So even though it has the capabilities to do a bunch of stuff, I would rather use something that was designed for mixing, not just have the capabilities of it. That way I'm not left out without anything that I need or want to do and can't, or, you know, it's hard for me to do this or it's hard for me to do that. When something is designed for what you're doing, then they make sure that they have everything necessary that you will need. The MPC is not designed for that. It is designed for making music. So it has everything you need to make a beat, everything, plus some. It just has the capabilities to mix and to master, possibly. You know, if you're recording vocals inside of it, it has all of them capabilities. You know, would I trust it to be the centerpiece of my whole entire studio? You know, to run everything, making music, recording vocals? No, I would not. Simply because, you know, I do a wide range of different things, not just make beats and record artists. You know, I mean, I have projects, you know, commercial projects, movie scoring projects. I need to get all of that needs to be done inside of DAW. I can do it inside of the MPC software. It just would make my job very, very hard versus a software that all of that was designed for. You know, me trying to use a software that it just has the capabilities of it would be way harder than using a software that all of that stuff was actually designed for. So that's just my take on it, man. That's why I stand on why I use the MPC in a certain realm. I use it for what it's designed for, what it's made for. And that's why I'm able to work so well with it. That's why you guys see what you see, because I use it for what it's designed for. I don't try and push the capabilities of it and try and make it do just because it's possible to do it. I don't do that because I don't want to like sound design it. The MPC is quite capable of sound designing. You can design sounds, you can soundscape, you can do all of that stuff inside of the MPC software. You can. Now, me trying to do it inside of the MPC software versus me pulling up my normal plugin that I pull up and I design my sounds in, it's a no-brainer because that plugin was designed for me to do my sound design, and it was designed for all of that. The MPC just has capabilities to do it, which means quite possibly it's going to make it harder for me to do some things inside of the MPC than it does inside of that plugin. You know, so when you start working under deadlines and under you know, contract stuff like that, when you start doing that, you have to be able to work very efficiently and very quickly. You know, I can't sit here and just fool with the MPC just because I want to do everything on that. No, I got to figure out a way to get these projects done very quickly and very efficiently. So if that means me dragging these stems into Reaper and mixing it that way because it's very quick, it's very efficient, it's made for that, it's designed for it, and I can do it very fast, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm not, you know, I don't have the luxury of sitting at home just telling myself I want to do that. I want to make all my stuff inside of the MPC software. I don't have that luxury no more, man. You know? There's money on the line now, so you know, I have to make sure I come up with the most efficient and best way to do it. Now, when it comes down to making beats, when it's time for me to make music for something or do that, I pull out this MPC because I know I can do it very quickly, very efficiently. I have everything that is needed, and it is designed for that. 100%, it is designed for that. You know, anything from making me from playing melodies to sampling to doing whatever, it is designed for all of that. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time to start getting into the deeper world of doing things, the MPC software kind of lacks on them areas, man. It delves into the capabilities of it, the possibilities of it. It does have that, but you can clearly see that it wasn't designed for that. You know, all of the things that it's missing. You know, but they're doing a pretty good job of updating it and keeping it moving, keeping it progressive. to where, you know, you can obviously see when you pull up this MPC software, when you pull it up, you know, from those of y'all that knew it back in the day to what it is now, you can clearly see that they're pushing it to become a full DAW, to where it now has all of the things in the DAW that you could possibly need. It's just not there yet. You feel what I'm saying? So, but, you know, as long as they keep updating it and pushing it towards that, you know, I understand that, you know, the reason why we're not going to see those full DAW capabilities all in one is because they have to focus on what it's designed for. If you notice, every single update is designed to help you make music better, not to mix better, not to master better, it's designed. Every update is going to be focused around what this thing is designed for, to help you make music better. It's a music production center, MPC music. So every update is going to be designed to help it do that better. That's what they're going to focus on. They just give us these little bells and whistles to now mix and do all this stuff, have a mixer and all that. They give us them bells and whistles now, you know, so. But every update they do will always be designed for that specific purpose, to help you make music better. Because that is what this machine is designed for. Not to mix and master and do all. That's not what it's designed for. It just has those capabilities to do it. So I stay in that realm myself to make sure I use it for what it's designed for. That way I move through it very quickly, very efficiently. I'm not trying to do some craziness in it that it wasn't designed for. Now I'm making my job hard just because I want to do it here. I want to do it here in the MPC when I can easily go pull that in another software and do it in 10 minutes. It's done. You know, so that's not the way I work. You know, do you think there is a difference in exporting a beat with MIDI tracks versus bounce? Do you think there is a difference in exporting a beat with MIDI tracks versus bounce tracks? Yeah, there is a difference. You know, MIDI is just the source of the sound, the source of the sound. You know, like always remember wherever, not just what you're doing, but remember where the source of the sound has come from. MIDI is coming from, like, you know, possibly a VST, possibly another instrument somewhere that you have routed somewhere. That's your MIDI. It's coming from a different source. But bounce tracks already came from a specific source. So it just depends on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish, you know, on what you would use at what particular time. But there absolutely is a difference. Yeah, definitely. You know, because the sources are totally different. So there will be a difference. Source audio, you know, you're taught that in signal change, you know, your source audio, you always have to look at. There can be a bunch of stuff ahead of that. Like it goes through this, it goes through that, it goes through here, routes through here, routes through that. But always look at your source audio, where that signal originates from. And that will tell you the quality of what you're about to do. The original source. But yeah, man, we pretty much done. Let's go it on let's go it on and record this just so y'all can kind of see it. You know, y'all can kind of see what I do. I'm gonna record this whole entire beat. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record a snippet with the beat tag. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna label that, and then I'm gonna turn off the beat tag and all of that and record the full entire track. All right, so y'all can see that whole entire thing. Okay, so okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna make sure I go to my print track, which is the red track right here, the red track. Let me enlarge that so y'all can see it very good. And my mix bus as well, the green track. All right, so those are the two tracks we're paying attention to. Mix bus is feeding through the print track. We're ready to print on the print track. Again, what I did was I right clicked on the record button on the track and changed it to record output in stereo. I wanted to record what's coming out of this track. So this mix bus is coming into it, and I want to record the sound coming out of it. All right, so I should be good to go. I just hit the record button. Engage. Let me take my microphone off. Okay. Boom. We're ready. And then all I do is just hit the record button, the master record button, while the record button is engaged on the track, and it's gonna now start printing the track. So we're gonna print out the snippet first with the beat tag, and then we're gonna turn the beat tag off and print out the full track. Let's do it. Nope. Let me turn off the metronome. Don't need that. Let's do it.
Purple world. Purple world.
Now, while this track is recording, I can pull up the mixer. And I can start doing all kind of stuff. Like when this drop is coming, I can grab the drum bus and raise it up a little bit. See, all I did was just raise it up just a little bit when the drop came right there. And then I'll push it back down. In the second part of the change up, I'm gonna lower the instruments just a little bit. Then I put them back up. So now that's the chorus playing. I got the instruments playing a little bit higher. Now I'm gonna get ready and highlight both of them. I'm gonna highlight both and roll it down. All right. We're gonna save that. Boom.
Purple world. Made that. Purple world. Made that. Purple world. Made that. Purple world. Made that. Purple world. Made that.
Uh-oh, too far.
Purple world. Made. Purple world. Purple world. Made that. 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 Purple world.
Let's record that one more time, man. Let me set everything back.
Purple world.
There's a few things that I want to do. Set this to none. All right, there we go. A few things that I want to do while it's recording. So let's do it again. Let's record, and then we're going to hit record. Turn off the metronome. Yep. Okay, let's do it. Home.
Purple world. Purple world.
Boost it up a little bit. Then when it starts, I'm gonna lower it a little bit in the break.
Purple world. Made that.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm gonna get ready to bring the instruments down just a little bit in this change up. Then when it comes back in, I'm gonna drop out the drums a little bit to bring them both back up. Nice. So like I'm really live automating my track. And then I'm gonna drop out the instruments just slightly when it goes to this little part, cause this is where we gonna end it.
Purple World made that.
And that's it. Boom. There's the track. All right. Done. So this is our first snippet right here that we recorded. This is our first snippet right here. And if you notice, let's mute the mix bus. We're gonna mute the mix bus. Look at that file, man. Just look how the file look.
Purple World made that.
You know, I'm gonna show you something about the file. If you notice, I'm gonna enlarge it about the file. If you notice, none of my peaks are compressed. I got them pretty much pushing a limit, but none of them are squashed. Because remember, I'm not mastering this beat. So I don't want it to be full and fat and thick and, you know, have a block style audio file. I'm not mastering this beat. And for those of you guys that are mastering beats, I suggest you stop unless you don't want an artist ever on your beat. You feel what I'm saying? Like, always remember, dude, like the mastering is for when the whole entire track is done, not just your beat. You know, so the artist vocals, all the effect, then that's when you get into the mastering of a track, man. So, you know, if you're making beats, then all you pretty much need is just for the beat to be loud enough and sound good. That's it. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll tell you something for those of you guys that don't know, and I've said this before, out of all of the projects I done, all of the beats I done sent places, the artists that done been on my beat, out of all of them throughout my years, I have yet to encounter one person that asked me for a mastered beat. I have yet to encounter one person that asked me for a mastered beat. No, I've never sent a mastered beat anywhere, to no label, to no A&R, to no artist, nowhere. You feel what I'm saying? So just, and the reason why is simply because, you know, always remember, like, you know, two masters don't make a right. You can't master a beat and then master some vocals after that. You know what I'm saying? Master a beat with some vocals on it after that. So if you're doing that type of stuff, I suggest you chill out with that. You know what I'm saying? You making some mixing engineer, the one after you making his life a living hell. You just don't know him, and he ain't able to tell you. But if you mastering beats and not leaving no space for no artist to fit some vocals in there, for the engineer to fit some vocals on there and do what he have to do to the track, then you making another mixing engineer life hell. Literally making his life a living hell because you cranking out master beats. Trust me, I'm a mixing engineer myself. And dude, I didn't have people come record with beats and want me to fit their vocals in, and the beat look like this. All right, let me show you. Literally, the beat look like this. Like, what you want me to do with that? Like, I understand, y'all know how to master track. Look, the beat look like this. Like, what you want me to do with that? Where you want me to fit some vocals in there? What, in them little tiny spaces right here in the middle? You feel what I'm saying? Right here in the middle. You want me to slide some vocals in there? You know, and if for those of you guys that think, oh, well, all you do is just turn down the volume. Trust me, dude, mixing and mastering don't work that way. You know, that's not how it works. You know, just turn down the volume and throw some vocals over it, just because the beat too loud and it's all full. Nah. Now, if you want the best mix possible, that ain't how it works. So, you know, just remember that, man. For those of you guys that's hearing dudes say, oh yeah, master beats, you know, mixing master beats. No, you have never heard me ever in life on any video speak about mastering a beat. Nowhere. I don't even want y'all to get that in y'all mind, bro.
Purple World.
But if you look at the size of this file, this is a pretty good enough sound. It's a pretty good enough level. You know, the drums aren't compressed. Everything is heard. Everything is present. This is a pretty good file for artists to record on. You know, it has the space, it has the room, it has everything that they would need. The sound is present, everything that a mixing engineer would need to do like a 2-track beat. If they just wanted to load this beat in and record some vocals over it real quick, they could do that with this.
Purpleworld made that.
All right, so now that that track is done, I'm gonna go down and label that. I'm gonna double click on the file. It pulls up my properties right here. I'm gonna go to the title of the take name, and I'm just gonna paste that the beat title, and I'm gonna title this one. This is gonna be MP3. Because remember, this has the beat tag on it. So this is just an MP3 that I would like if I wanted to post the beat somewhere, if I wanted to put it on IG, if I wanted to put a snippet of it on my beat store. This is the file you use right here. This is the one. The beat is nice, present is good, everything is straight. It has the beat tag in it, all of that. So this is my snippet that I would use. But anywhere I want to post the beat, like if I want to do a Instagram, you know, snippet or something to put this beat to showcase this beat, this is the file I would use to do that. Okay, so now I got this file out the way. What I do is drag it down. Now I'm ready to record again on that track. Okay, and just mute it. You just mute that track. That way it doesn't play. All right, so what I'm going to do now is go to the beat tag track and mute that. I don't want the beat tag on this one. So this is going to be the actual original file of the track, the WAV file now, the waveform version. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure it's all equipped. I'm going to make sure my mixer is set back. Let me go to my mixer. Make sure everything is set back. Boom, this was at 94, and this right. This right here was at 89. Okay, make sure everything is set. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we're ready to record the track again. Let's do it. Let's record the track again. Make sure it's at the home, at the starting point. Make sure it's engaged on the track, recording, and then we're gonna record it. If y'all notice, the beat tag isn't on this one. There's the beat. Boom. There we go. Now I'm gonna double click on this one and I'm gonna paste the title again. And then this is gonna be my wave file. WAV. All right, and I'm gonna move that one down. Boom, there we go. Now my two files are at the bottom. Now I can mute I can mute my mix bus. I can mute all of these tracks right here, mute the print track. So that now my beat isn't playing. Now I could just play either one of these two files right here that I recorded. Okay. So bam, now I have my two files ready to go. You know, and then all I gotta do is like, I can solo this one right here. And do my little fade at the end. You know, that way it fades out a little bit.
Purple World made that.
There you go. Boom, there's my fade there. And usually for my print for the wave file, I don't do any I just may do like a little small fade at the end right here on the outro. Just a little small fade. That way just in case the mixing engineer or whoever that's recording to this beat right here, whoever, they can kind of work with all of this outro right here if they want. Do something like that, and it just kind of fades out right at the end. Done. That's the tracks, man. That's them. Mixed, master. I mean, arranged and mixed. Both the different tracks. So again, what these two tracks are is this is like my show track. I call it my show track. You know, like if I want to showcase the beat or send it anywhere or whatever, it got my beat tag on it, got everything on it that I need. You know, I even do the encryption on here after I render it out. I do the encryption on it, you know, to where the ID3 tag, you know, to where it tags the actual file, you know, that way, just in case somebody's still trying to rip my beat off some kind of way, you know, the file is always tagged. You know, the actual encoding of the file is always tagged too. You know, that's not really music production. That's more like, you know, my IT background. You know, how to do stuff like that with different files and stuff, you know, to be able to tell that it's yours, no matter what somebody try and do with it. But yeah, that's it, man. There y'all go. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I hope you guys got something from it. You know, just how my process on what I do whenever I'm preparing beats. Now, you know, as I said, this may look like it's a lot, you know, the process and what I did. It may look like it's a lot, but literally this whole entire process from when I drag the stems in to this final thing right here that you guys see, this whole entire process right here takes me no more than 10 to 15 minutes to do. That's mixing, arrange, everything. It takes me no more than 10 or 15 minutes to do. One beat, you know, maybe 20 minutes, maybe. Just depending, you know, on what the beat is and what I got to do to it. But if I'm sitting down in front of a beat for 30 minutes, I get bored. By a half hour mixing it or doing some stuff, I get bored. Like I make sure I have a workflow and a process to where I never lose interest in the music, because that's the best way to mess up a mix. You know, with a mix, you're dependent solely on your ears and the vibe that you have. So when you get tired just from listening to it all the time, that's when your mix is going to start going down the drain, because you no longer have that freshness, that fresh sense, and that fresh ear, that fresh vibe of the music to catch what it's doing, so you can make the necessary moves. You know, so I don't advise sitting down there listening to something over and over and over, trying to mix it for days and days and days. Develop a solid workflow to where you can drag it in and you can ride that vibe throughout the whole way. You know, you'll hold on to that vibe for at least 30 to 40 minutes of a track. So if you can mix it in that 30 minutes, then you done rolled that whole vibe throughout that whole entire mix. You done rolled that whole vibe that the track give you. So your mix got a good chance of coming out good. You know what I'm saying? So that's my mixing process, man. Just like a little bit in a nutshell. You know, I don't think I ever really showed it to you guys in this much detail, but you know, and then I have a few other things that I teach in my help sessions, my live video help sessions, on how to check your beats, you know, how to check them. Because remember, your stereo feel, all of that stuff has got to be right. You know, your loves of your volume, you know, all of that stuff has got to be right. There are ways you can check, different ways that you can check that. Not one set way, just different ways you can check it. So that's the stuff that I dive detailed into, you know, because that's for people who actually want to take what they see here and further it. You know, what I do show, they want to take it and further it. You know, I get into how to analyze your beats, how to use an analyzer, you know, an analyzer to see what's going on with your beats, which tracks. That way you have a visual representation as well as your ear. You can see what's going on with them, and if anything is going out of whack, and you can use your ear as well. So all of that is what I teach in my live video help sessions, my mixing sessions. You know, so if you guys are ever interested in that type of stuff, then by all means book your session, man, and I'll take you through a few things, you know. And it's done at your pace, you know, your time. It's not anything you have to be, you know, some professional to understand. You know, I always put things in a simple way to where even if you're just taking this in for the first time, you're still able to understand it and get it, you know. And we work at your pace to where you know, by the time you're done, you'll get an understanding of how to mix your beats better, how to deal with audio a bit better, not just to mix beats, but just to deal with audio a bit better. You'll have some knowledge about what audio can do, not just with beats, but anything. You know, this is a whole, you know, that's why they call it engineering. You know, that's just not a cool title they gave it. It's called audio engineering for a reason. It is engineering. There is a science, there is a mathematic to this. And if you can understand it and get it, you know, then you quite possibly can do some amazing stuff with it. You can go beyond the realms of what most people do with it, which will possibly start a career for you, you know. So there y'all go, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. You know, I appreciate it. As always, it is an absolute honor to be with you guys on stuff like this, and for you guys to take it in, to show you guys a few things, to give you guys a bit more of the information that I know, the knowledge that I know, just to see if, you know, this may inspire you to do something on your own, or, you know, to learn more, you know, even if it's me you want to learn from, you know, book a session and learn a little bit more about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, as you can see, I like with my tutorials the same way. You know, even though I know the intricacies of it, because this is what I do for a living, I will always break it down to you in a manner that you understand, you know, without the big words and the nonsense. You feel what I'm saying? So there y'all go, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Thanks so much. This mix came out amazing, I must say, man. You know, everything came out proper. The arrangement is very, very simple. I kept it very simple. I didn't do nothing too crazy with the arrangement. You know, the mix is on point. You know, it sounds good, you know, in my ears. You know, and I've been mixing music for so long that I could press play on a beat and tell, like, what it's going to do in other places. Like, if it's going to do well in a car or on a hi-fi system or something. You know, I could just get that ear for it after you've been doing this for a long, long, long time. So, you know, this beat kind of came out. It came out really, really nice. And I believe the reason why it came out nice is because I spent so much time crafting it in the MPC saw when I was making it. Like, it took me maybe about 20 to 30 minutes to make this beat. You know, now I make beats pretty fast. So that's long for me to take like 30 minutes to make a beat. That mean I did some stuff to it. Like, I was making sure some stuff. And just by the plugins that I'm looking at in the MPC software, the plugins, I could tell I did some stuff to it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is the... What track is this? This is the vocal track right here. It got 4 plugins on it. So I made sure this vocal was straight. This is the comeback kid right here, the delay. This is the reverb I put on the vocal. This is the EQing that I did on the vocal right here. This is the pitch shifter that I did on the vocal just to kind of give it another tone, to pitch shift it a little bit. So I could tell I processed the hell out of this track when I was making it. You know, EQing it and doing everything. I just do it so fast that it don't take me that long to do it. But that's the trick to having a mix to come out like this. You know, don't think that I did everything right here in Reaper that y'all saw. You know, pretty much everything was done to the beat while I was making it. And that's what you guys take in while I'm making a beat, how I'm shaping sounds with my EQ. I'm choosing correct tones versus choosing what sounds good in my beat. I'm choosing the correct tones that need to be there. All of that plays into this mixing that you just saw. So by the time you get here, look at what you're doing now. Look at the plugins I have on this mix, man. Like y'all can hear it. It sounds awesome. But look at the plugins. Like there's not too much stuff I got going on here, man. It's just literally some fixing up stuff. That's all it is. You know, it's just kind of making the beat do some things in some different places. That's all these plugins are. You know, I'm not spending my time in a mix fixing everything, fixing this and fixing that. I feel like if you get to this point and you got to fix some stuff, then something was wrong in the MPC song when you was making it. Either you used the wrong drum sound, if you got to fix everything in the mix, you know, then quite possibly you didn't make that beat well. If it comes out of your software, now you got to fix stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So just be aware of that, man. Like a mix to me is to tailor the beat, not to fix stuff or to, you know, if I got to fix some stuff in my mix, then that means I need to go back in the MPC software and construct that beat a little bit better. You feel what I'm saying? Then I'll just do a few more things to it. That way, by the time I get here, all I'm doing is just tailoring it. I'm just touching it up a little bit and tailoring it. And you're doing a few little minor things that just makes it just pop out and do whatever I want to do, have that vibe I want. That's all I'm doing when I mix, man. I ain't doing no crazy stuff. You know, this is music, man. We're not curing cancer. You know, it's music we making, bro. So, you know, you just develop your workflow, get a good idea of your plugins, what they do your research on them. You know, if you need help with stuff, reach out for help. Make sure you get somebody that can explain it to you and you understand it. That way, when you put EQs on stuff and when you put compressors on stuff, you know what it's doing to your sound. You're not just turning some knobs and seeing what works, seeing if it sound good or not. You know, that ain't the way you want to do that. Your mixes ain't gonna never come out on point. You know what your plugins doing, know what different ones do, when to use things in certain situations, the different avenues you could take to do things. There are 25 different ways to do one thing to a track. You know, so know the avenues you can take, because sometimes you do it this way on this track right here and it work. You do it the same way on that track over there, it don't work. So you got to figure out another way to get the same goal accomplished on that track over there. So you got to know different ways on how to do one thing. You know, how to saturate tracks. Yeah, I could pull up a plugin and saturate the track, but there's also ways for me to saturate the track without using the saturator. I know how to do that. I got 2 different ways to accomplish the same thing. 3 different ways, really. You know how to parallel compress a track. I could pull up a plugin and do it, you know, or I know how to parallel process a track with no plugins, with no nothing. You learn those different things. That way, when you're in different situations, you have different techniques you can apply to different tracks and get a different result. If something didn't work, you can still accomplish the same thing, but just in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the tutorial live stream, man, if that's what you want to call it. You know, this is just, like I said, impromptu tutorial. For all you guys that like this type of stuff, just showing my method on how I mix, how you know, my headspace, my workflow, the way I think when I mix in a track. Again, what you saw here doesn't happen for every single beat. You know, I mix according to what I hear. When I press play on this beat, I heard a certain thing, a certain vibe, so I mixed in that fashion. I used the plugins necessary to mix in that fashion to bring out that vibe to a beat. You know, I may pull up another beat and don't do none of this you saw here. You know, do some totally different stuff just because that's the vibe I want to bring out in that beat. So remember, it's your creativity, is how you hear things, how you mix. It's not how to mix, it's how you mix. That was told to me. That's a good little play on words. It's never how to mix, it's how you mix. That's what you need to keep in mind. You know, how you do things, that's going to be the way you mix. You know, how I do things, that's going to be the way I mix. Does it make your mix better than mine? Does it make mine better than yours? No. It just means that you have a different way of doing things than I do. You know, so and we both accomplish the same goal, man. So just always remember that, man. It's not an exact science. You are the creator of it, and it's your way and how you do it and what you hear. You know, just learn the craft very well. That way, when you do things, you understand what you are doing to your music. You understand it, what plugins are doing, what your signal flow is doing, all of that. You understand those different things. That way, when you put your creative touch on it, it is working towards a very, very good goal. You're not just putting your creative touch on it all willy-nilly hoping something work out. You feel what I'm saying? You want to put your creative touch on something the way you do it, but you want to be working towards that nice goal at the end. So just learning more about your craft will do that. All right. So thank you guys again for tuning in, man. All my people on YouTube, all my people on Twitch. That does it for the stream. I appreciate it. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna go on and let you guys rock out on this beat. That way y'all can hear what the mix sounded like. I'm gonna let you guys rock out on this beat. Y'all can hear what the mix sounds like. Even though we recorded the track, we still gonna play it again. Let y'all hear what the mix sounds like. And yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to donate anything to the channel or tip anything to the channel, again, what I do with those things that you do give is I go in my pocket and I put the same amount that you guys give. I literally match it dollar for dollar. That way I can have free things to give you guys on my shows that I do. You guys know the shows that I put on when we do the beat critiques, the live, the sample flip contest, which that is coming as well. The sample flip contest is coming. I think I'm going to do that this week sometime, probably Thursday, maybe quite possibly Thursday, this coming Thursday. So not tomorrow, but the day after. Sample flip contest is going to be coming real soon. You guys will see it posted everywhere. If you follow my website with your email address, and if you follow my Instagram, all of that, you know, you guys will see it posted. Sample flip contest is coming real soon. For those of you guys that don't know, that's when I give you a sample live on screen, not beforehand. We do everything live on screen. I give you a sample and I give you an hour to flip the sample and submit your beat. And then we play all the beats at the end. You literally got an hour to make a beat live online. You know, for those of you guys that do know what that means, that are familiar with it, make sure you guys get ready, sharpen up your skills. You know, that way you can, because that hour go by fast, man. There's a lot of people that think they can do it, but that hour go by fast. You know, so it's just how you do things. If you have a solid workflow, and if you know your software well enough, you know, that's going to determine how fast you move. So that's coming, you know, and even if you can't move that fast, just come test your skills. There is no zeros. We don't submit zeros. So just because you didn't finish your beat doesn't mean that you get to say, oh, no, well, I guess I ain't going to send nothing. Nope. There's no zeros in there. Everybody that downloads the sample, I don't care if you're in the middle of creating a melody, you submit something. That's how it works. No zeros, man. I don't ever want to get y'all into the mentality of, you know, just because I didn't finish, I'm not going to do nothing. And that's not a good mentality to have in life nor in music production. So always remember, man, submit something. Even if you're not finished, even if you're not done, even if you're in the middle of creating a track, render that out, submit it. All of you guys that are going to participate. So that's coming real soon, and I hope you guys join in on that. Again, that concludes the live stream. Let's go on and play this beat for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, then go on and if you're on YouTube, go smash that like button. That way this video can be put in the front of some people that it can help, you know, this tutorial video. Just go drop a quick like on that, you know, drop a comment as well if you enjoyed the content as well. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this as well on my live streams. All right. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Let's go on and play this beat, man. Let's do it.